Good afternoon, everyone. We're going to give everybody a few moments to jump into the session today, but I'd like to thank everybody that has joined us, and certainly excited to kick off this new series that we're running called Free Coaching Tuesdays with myself. Here each week, we're going to look to bring you a little bit of additional information to really help you move and progress within VCIO Toolbox. And if you're not a VCIO Toolbox user, you're certainly invited as well to learn tactics that you can bring into your QBR process. During the course of today's session, I will say that chat will be open as well. You can either chat within our Facebook Live group if that's where you're attending today, or you can chat with us via Zoom. This recording will be made available within VCIO Toolbox after the session as well. So if anybody has any questions, please feel free to send those as well after the fact. So with that said, I think we've now got some folks online. We'll formally kick this program off. So first of all, for those of you who don't know me, my name's Brian Doyle, and I am the co-founder here at VCIO Toolbox. And I'm really excited here in 2022 to really work with our customers and the folks that we're talking to and bring more thought leadership to the process, get out in front and help you guys with the problems that you express to us. Many of you guys are listeners to MSP Business School, the podcast we host as well. And some of the information we're going to bring here is going to really go a little bit further in depth into what we discuss on MSP Business School as well. The primary topics we'll be talking about here within these sessions will be a little bit about security, of course about VCIO Toolbox and the whole VCIO advisory process, and we'll be talking about other account management and sales tactics throughout the year. Today, we're going to kick off with our first topic, which is really going in a little bit deeper into building a strategic plan with our customers. We're here at the start of 2022. A lot of folks are just starting to engage with their customers as we head into the new year, and it's really important that we're aligned with what's important to them. So inside of VCIO Toolbox, as many of you know, we have built a strategic planning tool. Here we're able to align various goals and challenges and help our customers really see how technology is supporting their plan. One of the challenges I hear, though, when I'm mentoring and working with some of our VCIO Toolbox clients is a lot of their customers just don't care too much about building that strategy, and they view us totally as an operational partner, or we really haven't shown our true leadership skills with the customer yet to really elevate to getting into their strategic planning. So what we're really going to talk about today are some of the opportunities that might be available to us to really engage our customer, and more importantly, how to introduce this whole process to a customer that might be resistant to it at the start. So the first thing that's important is showing the customer the why and why this process is very important to them. We want to make sure that they understand this is a win-win scenario. We want to be a better partner to them by better understanding the goals and challenges they're facing. And in doing that, we're going to be able to make better decisions about what should go in their technology roadmap. And it's also going to help us stay in check. So it really becomes a litmus test for the projects and services we bring into them, because we have to prove out that they are supporting the goals and challenges. So showing the why is the first step. Then we have to show them how we're going to use these goals and challenges. It's not just information that we put on a page, but it's going to be something that guides the roadmap. It's going to allow us to show progress on how technology is meeting those goals and challenges that they've defined with us. And later in the process, we use those goals and challenges to actually serve as the business case for each project. So really at that stage, we're aligning these goals to the recommendations that they have discussed with us. We're making sure that they can really see, hey, if I do this network refresh project, or if I implement this SOC tool into my environment, how's that going to push the needle to the things I've identified have driven my business? And our real goal in doing this process with them is to help them make more informed decisions. Those of you that have been through a demo with me, you may have heard me talk about this before, but one of the biggest challenges a small to mid-sized business customer has is they're not the IT pro. They may be tech savvy, but they're certainly not the technology literate individual that your team is. So we want to show them that we're trying to help them by guiding them to the right solutions, giving them the detail that they require so they can better understand exactly what we're trying to bring to the table for them, and then they can feel confident in making those decisions. And as all of you know, not too much that we sell to our customers costs less than four digits, right? So we want to make sure as they're making these investments that really aren't concretely transparent to them on how it's going to help their business, we're helping them make those decisions. And ultimately in doing that, we're going to increase our sales velocity. This is really going to allow us to now have a bona fide plan, be able to present our customer with a long-term budget. They're going to be able to see what their spend is going to be year over year, month over month, and really understand where those inflection points are within their budget. It's also going to avoid some of the gotcha moments that we've had with our customers. I don't know about you guys, but I know more than once when I was an MSP, warranties expired. We forgot about them. We went to talk to the customer, and it was that great conversation you sometimes have with them. Hey, these warranties expired for your firewall. For us to keep that ongoing protection, we now need to get a new service, and that's going to cost $2,000. They love that, don't they? So we want to make sure that they have that information up front, and in turn, it's going to increase our sales velocity because now it becomes a predictable pipeline. We're going to be able to negotiate with our customers exactly when these projects should take place, and then guide them to them as matter-of-fact statements, really, in the long-term process, and help them understand this is where we need to take action. So that's the goal of what I'm going to teach today. What I'm going to switch now to is our VCIO Toolbox screen here and share with you a little bit about what the strategy process looks like within the system for those of you who don't know, and hopefully give you a little bit more guidance for those of you that have joined us within VCIO Toolbox and have some questions about how this service is presented. So what I've got here for you right now is a very mature strategy plan. We've identified a number of business goals and business challenges with our customer. We've presented the IT goals that they should consider, and now we're starting to align our recommendations to them. As we align these recommendations, we're able to show the overall progress of each one as well. So we're able to show them, has this project been adopted? Has this project been implemented? And I'm getting some feedback that things are very blurry. Let's see if we can fix that up. To let everybody know, we're using a little bit of a different technology today. The underlying technology we've got in place with this today is Ecamm Live as we go live out to our customers as well. Let's see if this tightens up the screen a little bit. For those of you that are on Zoom, if you could let me know now if this is enhancing your page a little bit, that would be great. Does this get rid of a little bit of the blurriness for those of you that are on Zoom? Awesome. So now we'll continue on a moment with this piece of the puzzle as well. You'll see here that we've got our strategy page mapped out, and we've got our business goals and business challenges I mentioned, our supporting projects, which are really the tactics to support those goals below it, and then we're tracking whether the project's been formally adopted into the plan and whether it's been delivered through the racing flags. Now, what I'd like to do at this stage is really break down each one of those sections a little bit. So first, let's note the things that we have listed here under the trophies. These are business goals and business challenges that the customers identified. So one of the things I said to you today, I was going to tell you a little bit about how I get those customers to identify these goals and be a participant in this process. And the first thing is I build out a skeleton of this plan before I engage the customer. What I mean by that is I bring in the IT goals so they can see exactly what they need to consider from an IT side. Obviously, as the leadership partner, it's my responsibility to bring those. Then I may build a business goal or a business challenge based on the calls that I've had with my customer and what I understand might be driving their business. Now I'll build one, maybe two of these. I don't want to go too deep because I really want to collaborate with my customer on this. So let's just go on the concept that I put in the goal of creating security policy to support users, and I put in the business challenge of managing M&A transition because this is something I understood from my client. When I go into that first meeting with the customer and I'm doing that first QBR, I'm showing this to them as a baseline event where I've shown the goals. I've got a couple goals and challenges that I've built on their behalf, and now I want to engage them. So the way I kind of set up that conversation is, hey, Mr. Customer, one of the things that we are doing now at my company to become a better partner to you and better understand where you're trying to go is we want to dig deeper into what's driving your business, those key initiatives you're chasing after, and those obstacles that might be in the way of success as you move forward with your business. We want to categorize those as business goals and business challenges. Now, of course, as your leadership partner, we're bringing the IT goals to bear, and I've got 4 of them that I'd like to discuss with you in a few moments. Now, the outcome is this is going to guide us in building our technology roadmap, and it's really going to be it's going to serve you well because it's going to keep us in check. As we look at putting technologies into your roadmap, we have to make sure that they align to one of the goals and challenges we agree to, or otherwise it shouldn't be in our plan. So this will really keep us in check and make sure that as we're making technology decisions that you might not be as familiar with, that they're absolutely serving your business and how they're going to serve that business. The second reason we build this plan for you, Mr. Customer, is to kind of create a scorecard for how technology is supporting your overall business plan. So you'll notice our baseline scores over here. We've basically, through the projects we've already implemented and the services that are currently operational this year, against the goals that we've put in thus far, we're establishing a scorecard here, showing where we are against our IT goals, our business challenges, our business goals, and the overall plan as a whole. Each meeting, we should see progress in this, and this is a great tool for sharing with your CEO, as this is going to give them a very easy understanding of where they are towards their strategic plan as far as technology is considered and what's the progress for each one of those pieces. Now, I've taken the liberty of building a business goal or business challenge for you to consider, Mr. Customer. First thing I'd like to do is have you look at those and tell me, am I on track? Do we need to modify these a bit, or do we need to remove them from the plan altogether? If we do need to remove them from the plan altogether, no harm, no foul. We can absolutely do that, and that's not a problem. And then at that stage, guys, I'll kind of engage the customer on each one of these different goals. If they want to make some changes, we can edit them right here on the fly. For those of you that are using our system today, you know that there is a meeting view in our system as well, and you're able to utilize that for presenting meetings. Now, down below each one of these project or goals, we have the individual projects. These projects come out of our IT assessment that we're undertaking with our customer, and then the projects that we create as a result of that IT assessment. We're then able to align those to the goals and show the progress. And again, I mentioned earlier, we have a formal adoption process where the customer is just committing in spirit to the project at this stage. Some of these projects might be 2-3 years out, but they want to have them formally in the plan. And for us, it's the first step in subliminal selling as well. The more they see that project as something that's upcoming and agreed to, the more likely they are to execute when we get to that point of the plan. Over here on the left-hand side, we have our racing flags. And these are able to clearly show the customer what projects have been implemented into their environment. And that's, again, what drives up our progress meters. Now, I want to take a quick moment before we move into Business Insights, which is a tool for engaging our customers one step further, and go over a few of the IT goals. Now, I've got 4 of them listed down here, and these are 4 very common goals that almost every strategic plan should have. The first one is ensuring we have a strong security posture, and this is just really making sure that we've implemented system and processes to reduce the risk of breach in the environment, and also to make sure that we can adhere to any required compliance standards that we need to meet. The second standard goal is modernizing technology. This goal becomes your catch-all for all of your end-of-life, end-of-warranty, unsupported asset or software type projects. So we want to make sure that we're keeping technology up to date. The third goal is improving communication and collaboration. Here we want to make sure we're implementing efficient systems for internal communication, and we have the capability for secure external collaboration with customers, vendors, suppliers. And this becomes your catch-all for voice over IP, hosted PBX, SharePoint, Teams, Office 365 style projects that help your customers better communicate both internally and externally. And then the fourth goal is the one that can be a little bit arbitrary at times. It's called cloud transformation. Obviously, if your customer's already 100% migrated to the cloud, this is probably not one you need to include in your plan. But really, this is just the continued assessment of systems and applications to make sure that, which ones can benefit from the cloud and how they're going to receive benefits from moving to the cloud. So if you're not doing it today, these are 4 goals that you should really consider to keep inside your plan. And we have a cheat sheet guide for goals and challenges inside the university under our workflows, integration, and supporting documents field. It's called the Common Goal and Challenge Brainstorming Guide. And in this guide, we have a number of standard, pretty standard goals and challenges, by no means an exhaustive list of them, that would fit most client situations. You'll see things like geographic expansion, organizational expansion, improving talent, reducing costs, and so forth. Now, I do want to take a moment and talk about expansion, because one of the biggest things I see when I'm working in my ramp camps with younger VCIOs, I'll ask them, hey, what's this customer looking to do? And they'll tell me, hey, they're looking to grow. And that's awesome, right? All of us want to grow our businesses. But it's key to understand how they're going to grow. If they're looking to grow organizationally, that usually yields projects that tend to be more about increasing capacity, getting endpoints for the end users that are coming on board, expanding in a single site. As soon as we talk about moving territories, we talk about geographic expansion, and that now introduces new considerations like carrier network services, edge and perimeter security, and of course now we want to talk about which systems can be centralized and which will need to be done locally. The third area of expansion is mergers and acquisitions, and that's almost a total opposite of the other two. Here we're talking about bringing 2 companies together who had existing tools and now looking at how we can consolidate those. Can we take 2 Office 365s and bring them under a single tenant? Do we have 2 ERP systems that need to come together? These things drive different projects and usually are more about collaboration, but usually also come with an increase in security needs, as not all resources will stay with those companies. So, we really want to make sure we dig deep with our customers and understand these goals. And it's going to do 2 things. One, it's going to give you the information you need to build out the roadmap efficiently and effectively. But it's also going to start instilling a higher level of confidence in your capabilities with your customer. They're really going to start recognizing you, if they're not today, as a true leadership partner who has their best interests in order and is really trying to understand at a higher level what you can do for their business and how you can engage with them. My apologies here a moment, guys. I lost my my strategy page when I made that move. But here, when I come back into a strategy page, you'll see we're back into where we've got our goals and challenges. And I don't think this is the same customer, but that's okay, because we are now going to move into business insights. Now, Business Insights is a tool where we can better engage our customers and get feedback from our customers about different things. And we can make these surveys roles-based, so we can have different surveys that go out to different influencers and points of contact within the customer environment. So what do I mean by that? So the way I usually close out my security discussion is, hey, Mr. Customer, we're going to add any goals or challenges that you feel are important to you today to the plan now. But after this meeting's over, I'm going to be sending you a short Business Insight survey. And inside this Business Insight survey, it's going to give you an opportunity to capture any goals or challenges that we didn't map into the plan today. But it's also going to give you an opportunity to share other things, other insights with us. We'll give you an opportunity to tell us how you feel about our service at a variety of levels and our response times. We'd like to understand how you feel about risk, how you feel about your technology supporting you as the individual and the business at large. These insights are really going to help us do our job more effectively. So you'll notice here I've got a few different templates. I tend to be a little bit more partial to these roles-based templates because we can send different things to the people based on the roles that they occupy within the business. Now I'm going to show you first this point of contact Business Insight page here. And this point of contact insight page really includes questions that we want to send out to whoever our day-to-day operator is, even if that is the CEO or CFO. When I come in here, you'll see the checklist associated with this. And you'll notice a couple different elements. First thing is that we've got our business goals, business challenges, and IT goals laid out here. Now, this is the only section within this survey that's fixed and cannot be modified. And the main reason for this is whatever our customer supplies in these fields, that will directly populate our strategy dashboard. So we're actually capturing those goals in our customer's name or customer's own words. Obviously, their words have power. They're going to be more apt to agree with those words later in the process if they made them. The other reason we do this is if we're talking to 2 or 3 different decision makers in this process. We want to see that some of the goals and challenges come back hopefully align, that multiple people are looking at the same goal and challenge and really looking to understand or have that same plan as they move forward. Certainly, we may see goals that seem like they conflict, and this is a great opportunity to bring that to your customer's attention in a meeting, just so maybe you can get the feedback on how those things intertwine or how they relate to each other, or sit back and watch the fireworks, because sometimes the right hand doesn't know what the left hand's doing. But basically, these business goals and challenges get incorporated into the plan. Down below here, though, is where we can get some information from our customers to help us in other ways. The first one is some questions around technology confidence. Here, we're looking to understand from our point of contact how they feel about the technology supporting themselves and the objectives of the business. Their interpretation of the employee's confidence in the technology, how management feels about it as well. Then we ask them a little bit about risk tolerance. We want to understand how they evaluate risk within their business. If they say that they're at a 5 and they have no tolerance for risk, but they're also telling you that they don't want to do that firewall project, this gives you more ammunition to defend that project. Instead of immediately just going to the fear, uncertainty, and doubt conversation, right? You might get breached, you might get hacked. This gives you an opportunity to educate the customer. Hey, that's fine. I understand you might not be able to do this firewall project now, but I want you to think a little bit about what you said about risk tolerance. You had yourself rated as a 5. You might need to downgrade yourself to a 4 or maybe even a 3 because we're knowingly leaving that door ajar now. And this could be important if your CEO or your upper management is reporting out on this topic. So we can really use this to better understand how to handle those security plays. Then down before here, we've got some questions around performance, how they feel about our help desk, our on-site engineers, our client managers, and our response times. This, of course, lets us know if we can get out in front of any problems we may be experiencing there. And then we want to get their interpretation of the overall value of the products and services we bring. Do they really feel, that our services and products are bringing value to their business? This becomes very useful information for us as we go through the relationship, because now we're not only building a company profile on what its strategy and direction is, but also all of our key stakeholders, we're starting to get more insight into how they're relating with us as their vendor partner and how they feel about the technology they're using. This can really help guide our overall account management plan for this customer. If we've got somebody that's a strong supporter, we want to make sure we don't lose traction with them over the next 12 months. And if we have that guy that as soon as we walk in the conference room is already shaking his head no and disagreeing with us before we even start talking, our goal with them might not be as lofty. We might want to just take steps to see how we can improve the relationship from negative to neutral. Now, just to give you kind of a quick contrast on these templates, if I switch over to the CEO template, you'll see it looks very similar, yet it's different. And this is meant to go to the CEO who is not your point of contact. So here we ask about those business goals and business challenges again, but now we go bigger picture. How do they feel about technology supporting the business as a whole? How do they feel about risk so we can correlate that to what we're seeing from our day-to-day operator? And then finally, we have a single performance question here. And really, that is because all we're concerned about is whether or not the CEO is connected to IT in any way, shape, or form. Does he or she understand what's happening within the entire IT environment? If they uncheck uncertain here, then they're really telling me we're only as good as our point of contact says we are. And if we don't build a better relationship and somebody comes in cheaper, there's a good chance that they might consider that. So to me, that's a relationship risk indicator, and I'm going to try to figure out how I can engage the CEO without stepping past my point of contact and engage with both of them. Maybe it's time to set up that lunch or dinner to really, dig deeper into their account. When these replies come back, and you'll see here that recently we started importing contacts into the system, so you should see your customer contact list here to make sending real easily. And then over here, we are able to view the responses that come back from each one of our surveys. We're able to get the customer's individual view, and we have reports like our Business Insights report that can show them in aggregate. So we can see all the reviews. My report's a little off here. I apologize for that. But all the reviews that come back from a customer in one single document. So that's kind of the overview of the strategic planning cycle. Again, the big goals here are we want to help our customers. We want to help our customers better understand where they stand within the strategic plan at all times. We want to get a better understanding of their strategic direction, how they are engaging with that strategic plan, how technology is supporting it, what their budget is, and then ultimately in Business Insights, we show them how those goals tie back so they can see a very clear, concise, and understandable business plan for each project. So that's everything I have to cover today, folks, as it relates to the content. I'll open up the floor now for any questions, comments, or concerns that you may have, or any other questions. Really, at this stage, I love to open up this part as an Ask Me Anything, and allow us to really understand exactly, or answer any questions you have. I'm sorry there. I was trying to control the screen at the same time. So let me know if there's any questions by either jumping into the chat field, hitting Q&A, or if you're on Facebook, commenting in our comments and reaction section. And while people are gathering any questions, concerns, or comments they might have, I do want to say that we're going to be doing a session like this each and every Tuesday at 3 o'clock Eastern Time, noon time Pacific, 8 o'clock in the UK. Rebroadcasts of these trainings will be found both in the university at the top of the application and also within our Facebook MSP Managed Customer Success group. So if you are not part of that Facebook group, we'll be sending a follow-up with a link to that to all those that attended today to allow you to join that group. And you do not have to be a VCIO Toolbox customer to be part of that group. It's really about better customer success through account management, VCIO, and advisory strategies. So I'm not seeing very many questions coming in, so I'm going to give a 1, 2, 3. Anybody have anything? All right. Well, with that said, we'll wrap up today's session. I appreciate those that joined today. Thank you very much for being a part of the community, and really excited to get this started with you. Thank you for also letting me know we had some technical difficulties. I think we got that sorted out now, and I'll see you all next week. Have a great week and go get them.